What a revelation. Okay. Parachuting diving, tactical driving, weapons that shoot bullets, and explosives. Oh my God. What an epiphany, GAO. Way to go and find out the outliers. Okay. Welcome, folks. Jake Zweig, United States Naval Academy graduate, University of Michigan MBA, 15-year Division I college football coach. We build champions for life is not just a saying, it is a way of life. Today, we're going to look at task and purpose, talking about a lot of special operations guys are dying in training. It's been like that since I was involved in the mid to late 90s. And I'm not sure what they're getting. But we're going to go look at this article, give you some background and some information, and just let you know that everything in special operations is a very dangerous job. Watchdog finds high rates of serious accidents, lack of oversight, and special operations training. A new report found that the vast majority of non-combat accidents for Special Operations Command occurred during training. Well, yeah, training, everything is level 5, high risk. Death is imminent. Level 5 training, death is imminent. You're trying to mitigate the factors that could allow a death to happen, but they understand that if you're doing parachute operations, someone's going to probably die at some point. It's a dangerous deal. Parachuting. Troops from Special Operations Command Africa oversee a parachute training exercise over Germany in 2016. Them static line jumps are dangerous. My first static line jump in the United States Army, I saw the guy behind me get his leg ripped off. It was not a pretty sight. I couldn't worry about it because I was trying to figure out how to land, but the dude screamed the whole way to the ground, and then they showed us the video of his weak exit. Special Operations Forces deployed around the world in high-risk missions, and troops that fall under Special Operations Command experience a high rate of serious and sometimes deadly accidents outside of combat, often in training. A lack of oversight and a culture of complacency are the major contributors to these mishaps. The Government Accountability Office wrote in a new report released on Thursday, November 21st, the study of Special Operations Forces' additional oversight could help mitigate high-risk training accidents. Found that the overwhelming number of accidents happen during training. Well, yes, you train like you fight, and you fight like you train. So absolutely, people are pushing it way up to the edge because if you don't, you're going to show up in combat and get killed. It's pretty simple. Of more than the 3,600 non-combat accidents across the entire Special Operations community that the GAO looked at, roughly 80% were in training. Correct. The 2-year study looked at non-combat related accidents among the tens of thousands of troops in Special Operations, including Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, and other units over a period of ranging from 2012 to 2022. In the last year, SOCOM started a program to standardize training and reduce the risks on what it deemed to be 7 key high-risk areas. But the GAO found that the command has struggled to implement its data assessment and oversight. Yeah, they just killed the commander of SEAL Team 8. The TF-160 guys cut the rope early while he was still on the rope. He fell approximately 48 feet, blew out his whole pelvis, and died 2 days later. I hate to say it, I apologize, but if you're doing high-risk training and you're doing 90-foot fast ropes or 60-foot fast ropes and somebody messes up, somebody's probably going to die because of it. In this case, jump master cut away the rope too early, and the result was you have a dead 05. Of the 7 high-risk training areas that SOCOM outlined, data analyzed by the GAO found that parachute and dive training are the areas with the highest number of accidents, making up 40% of training-related incidences. Other training sections with a high number of accidents included tactical vehicles, weapons, or explosive training. Oh my God, what a revelation. Parachuting diving, tactical driving, weapons that shoot bullets, and explosives. Oh my God, what an epiphany, GAO. Way to go and find out the outliers and use a lot of taxpayer money for good. Holy shit. Are we kidding ourselves? Every one of those things is dangerous. Okay? You blowing stuff up is dangerous. You shooting people is dangerous. You jumping out of planes is dangerous. But you know what? Every one of those things that you said is a key component to United States Special Operations ability to go anywhere in the world and kill people. To mitigate risks and improve its oversight of these Types of training activities. SOCOM performs several activities, including designating which high-risk training activities require an increased level of oversight, instituting a training assessment and observation program. The GAO report says, however, SOCOM has not conducted analysis of negative safety trends or reevaluated its training assessment programs in light of the plans that expands the scope of these activities. Without performing these aspects, SOCOM may miss opportunities to identify safety issues or to mitigate risk during training activities. Data analyzed by the GAO pointed to an average of 256 incidences per year. 2015 saw both the highest number of accidents and the highest number of deaths at 402 and 10. 402 incidences and 10 deaths. That's pretty good now. Across all of SOCOM? Shoot, that's pretty good. 2020 saw the lowest numbers due to restrictions stemming from COVID-19. Oh, wow. Everybody was on lockdown. No one was training. Imagine that. 120 accidents still happened over the period of exam. GAO found 48 deaths that occurred in non-combat related accidents. Okay, that sounds more like it. 48 deaths sounds a little bit better. Normally, about one guy dies in the SEAL teams every month. And if someone hasn't died for 5 or 6 months, normally it's going to be a big accident. Stop riding helicopters together. It's not good. As for why the training incidences are so high, the GAO found that there was a culture of complacency in the special operations community when it comes to training. I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to argue. They threw me out of a plane with no training into a water jump, and I'm not going to argue that. More than 80% of all accidents resulted from human error rather than environmental or material problems. Absolutely. So are you competent in doing what you're supposed to be doing, which caused roughly only 3% of the accidents? A lack of discipline was cited as a major factor. Additionally, the 4 service elements that make up Special Operations Command each had their own adherence to that training oversight program and the different language in how they describe the oversight, and none met all 7 areas of concern. Well, looks like we got something here. The GAO review looked at 2012, 2020, but the report points to several mishaps since then that have resulted in fatalities. Those include Air Force Special Operations Command and the V-22 Osprey crash in November of 23 off Japan. The death of a sailor undergoing basic underwater demolition training, my man Kyle Mullins, in 2022, and the death of a Green Beret during a freefall training. The Washington Post reported this week that the MH-60M with the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment that crashed in the Mediterranean Sea, killing all 5 crew members, did so while on a gunnery training mission, not a refueling training as the Department of Defense previously announced. The Army report obtained by the Washington Post via Freedom of Information Act noted that the helicopter failed to pull up in time while on a targeting run and crashed into the water. Okay, it's called practice because people are practicing. Ground fixation for helicopter pilots is damn near at the top of the cause of death, okay? So yes, that happens. Let's go look at the numbers. In the last 5 years, 198 naval aviators have perished in the line of duty. 198. Okay, so let's not get crazy here. I'm glad y'all went on a witch hunt, but there ain't no witches over here. Just a bunch of hard-ass dudes trying to make sure when they go down range, they got the tools and the capabilities to protect themselves in life and death situations where bad guys are trying to make them go home in boxes. As a result of the research, GAO put forward 6 recommendations urging SOCOM to analyze safety data, identify high-risk training areas, reevaluate its training assessment program, and establish milestones for the 4 soft service component commands to complete updates to their policies that include SOCOM's high-risk training, oversight, and requirements. Hey, the GAO put out some trash, and I'm sure SOCOM has been looking at it, but it's a dangerous job. And when you're doing dangerous jobs, you got to be a dangerous dude, and to be a dangerous dude, you got to train really hard, okay? Just kind of crazy. I didn't really agree with the article. They didn't really come up with nothing big. Like, they came up with guns and explosives are dangerous, okay? Hey, man, whoever's running the GAO, man, I hope the Dodge people go get them. Get rid of the GAO office. Let Dodge take over. Hey, Elon, can you go look at the GAO? They probably wasted about $10 million on this study here, and they came up with guns, bullets, bombs, and tactical driving are dangerous.